In this video, I'm going to give you a few examples of mobility exercises that are simple, that are safe. We need it to be safe, especially when we're over 50 years of age, and we need it to be relevant to our age group as well. We're going to concentrate on your ankle, on your feet, on your knees in particular, because we need the old pins to keep going a little bit longer. So here's a few examples that have been very, very beneficial for me, using very simple equipment and taking just something that you can easily do in your house. A quick one to start off with is get a tennis ball and get a sitter and just run your foot over it, and that's a really easy one just to start the warm up before we sit down to the ankle rotations. So now I'm on the ankle rotations here, turning my foot one way, turning it the other way, make sure maybe 6 one direction, 6 the other way, and then I'm stretching my foot from the Achilles tendon and I'm stretching the foot. So I'm just manipulating my ankle as best I can there. We're going to stand up and I'm going to do the same thing now in a standing position. So here I am standing, I'm turning my ankle around, all my weight is over the foot, and I'm turning it a couple of times one direction and then turning a couple of times the other direction. Wall sitting, now I'm going to stay with the ankles and the heels, so I'm back and forward, and I'm back, toes up this time, and then I'm forward, and then I'm back and forward, and I'm doing that with a wall sit. Two great calf exercises. One would be like this. So you're both stretching, I'm stretching my calf, and I'm straightening the calf as well. One is for the tibialis anterior, one is for the tibialis and posterior, sorry. So like this and like this. So I'm getting a nice stretch right down there on my ankle there. So I'm stretching that down like this. So I'm stretching it, and then I'm going to strengthen it. So I'm up and down. And you can play around with your hands and also I can feel that stretch now right down into the floor. I'm going to raise my heel as high as I can, and I'm going to stretch the heel until the heel is really down on that floor. My body is very straight, and I can feel that right up. So it's one is the strengthening one, and that is the stretching one. And obviously do the same on the other side. You could do 10 of them every day. That's an exercise you could do every day. Now the opposite of that would be this one. Now I had some clients of mine and they had difficulty doing this one, and I can see why, because you know, it's trying to get the floor, maybe they're on tiles or maybe they're not. That's a non-slip floor. So I'm putting my hands here like this, and I'm getting a nice stretch like this here, and all I'm doing is I'm lifting up like this and I'm going down. I'm lifting up, so there's a bit of strength here now on this, and I'm lifting down and I'm lifting up and I'm lifting down. You get the idea. Lift up and lifting down. Now there is another modified version of that, and I'll show you just that next. Okay, so exactly the same thing. Everybody's got a chair in their kitchen, and a really good exercise while you're waiting for the kettle to boil or your coffee to brew. Hands in the back of the chair, make sure the chair is stable and coming up, and I'm going down, and as I go down, look, I can go like this. So I'm going to use this for a bit of balance. I'm on my heels and on my toes, and on my heels again, and on my toes, on my heels and on my toes. Now, even better again, if you're sitting down a lot during your day, you can do this one here. For example, if you're at a desk and if you have just a few moments together on your own, you can lift up like this, and here. I had to adjust my feet there because I want to get the right angle to lift them up like that, because I just want to do this one and then the other way. So up and down, up and down. And a lot of personal trainers call that soleus muscle, the one down there underneath your calf, like a second heart. This one down in here. So from here, pump it up and down, up and down. That would be an ideal one now if you're on a long flight. I look fine sitting down like this, and it's a lot of as we get over 50 and 60 years of age, we lose the ability to more or less sit down like this. I'm lucky because I have the wall behind me, but if I take away the wall, I go back on my backside. So I got into the habit then of elevating up my back of the heel, so I don't have to be at the wall. I can put this here like this. So that's just elevating up my heels. Now this is without it, look. That's as much as I can go down with that there. So I have these, as you can see, my ankles aren't that loose, so to compensate, I'm going to come in a bit like that, and I'm a bit bent, but I need to keep it straight by elevating that up a small bit. There I'm going down, and I can get it down pretty straight on my back. Now you can use a book. You can use a book, or maybe a couple of disc plates, and you can increase or decrease the size of the book, and that will help you to stay in that position, because we've lost that ability as we get older. We've lost all the flexibility on our ankles and our hip joints like that. Now, I'm very fortunate that I can do this position because I do have 2 hip implants. So I'm lucky to be able to do this at all, and to be able to have the ability to come up and come down. But a lot of that happens with those ankle rotations, and I'm working on my legs slowly but surely, just to keep and maintain both flexibility and mobility as long as I can. I hope you found those few exercises simple to do, relatively easy to do. I hope, and they are safer to do as well. They are, a lot of them are modified, and more importantly, that they're relevant to us when we're over 50 and in the second half of our lives. If you haven't subscribed already, if you could do that now, it would be great, because I'm trying to get the message out to anybody else who's over 50 and trying to keep, body and soul and their independence alive as long as we possibly can. It's not just about, staying strong, eating well and moving better. We need a bit of mobility too, and we need to keep that kind of attitude that we can do some exercises even in our day-to-day lives. That's what it is. So exercise becomes part of your daily life, the same as drinking a cup of coffee. God bless, and mind yourself. So coming up in my next video, as you can see from here, I'll be covering more functional joint mobility movements, because they'll become increasingly important as we age. They underpin everything from balance to posture and to strength and or independence. God bless.